Steve is an expert on them, don't they?
Plants. That doesn't even include that.
You feed up rats with the human DNA and then see what happens. They like doing that, don't they?
Oh, boy.
Oh, God. We got Dallas here.
Clones. Plant clones.
Hello?
Hello?
Listen,
Nobody
guys.
knows
God made the Moses.
My night is complete. Dallas David does
Steve
a
is an
JB
expert on
impression.
You don't know who made you. Nobody knows who made who.
No one made people, David.
Yeah, nobody knows where you came from.
Oh, of course we do.
Dave, they say we came from monkeys. What do you think?
I say, show me the little people.
Hey, Jace. Or how
Hey,
You have to be little before you get big, right? Even when you're a baby, you're little. You don't just come out big, right?
by the way,
You're bigger than an ant as a baby, but
See,
hey,
like
Jace.
for these giants to be born, they would be like the size of a cow, right? Like a baby, like a human baby the size of a cow.
So, by the way, we didn't come from monkeys. We still belong to the clade of simiforms. So,
New World
You
monkeys.
gotta show me
Old
where-
World monkeys.
old
Where
world.
are the little humans at?
Some say we
Where-
even like to monkey around.
Yeah, but where are the little?
No
Where's
singing in chat.
Back a couple thousand years ago, the giant. What do you guys think?
Where's the 6-inch tall monkey at? Where are the little bitty monkeys at?
Yeah. Dave.
newborn
I think you got this whole thing wrong because we're on this little fucking rock in the middle of nowhere in the fucking Milky Way galaxy, and there's nothing. There's literally nothing anywhere around anywhere. And we're just here, and literally all life is related to us. So I think that's why you get confused. Nobody is saying that a goddamn monkey gave birth to a human, all right? I think you get confused with that.
Where are there would be little people first before you got big. You wouldn't just be big automatically. How do you pop into existence full size?
Well, Dave, perhaps there was humans 1 inch tall back in the day.
Yes, so exactly. So where's the fossils at?
Well, there's nothing in evolution that says things have to go from small to big. It doesn't say that at all. But nonetheless, there
Dave's
are
been told this multiple times by multiple people.
monkey species and hominid species that were smaller than us, like Homo habilis and Ardipithecus. All those things were not average modern human height.
Jace.
Yo.
You're not going to get anywhere with David. Can you come down? I have some questions for you, but I want to talk to you about that in my room.
Everything on Earth.
Let's talk about genotypes and phenotypes.
No, wait, Leo, what are you doing? Wait, you're what are you doing, Leo? You're not going to stay here?
No, Dallas Dave is a complete cancer.
He is kind of, yeah.
That's not nice.
Is it not true?
What type of cancer?
Why do you think they make little kids play with GI Joes when you're little? Why do you think they give girls Barbie dolls 12 inches tall? Because those are the size of your real ancestors right there.
Just quit trolling me, Dave. Come on, man.
Yeah, seriously, Dave, just shut the fuck up.
See, I was right this entire time. I was right about Pillbox, and I was right about David.
That one was obvious, Dave. Come on, man.
Why would you think, how would things just go to being 6 foot tall all of a sudden? It don't happen.
But just Dave, just shut the fuck up.
What happened to Pillbox? Where's he at?
And think about it. Why do they let you play with those GI Joes? Why would they do that? Why would they put them in all the stores and hand them out little people with full beards.
Dave, every time you come in, it's always like you kill the entire conversation. You really do. And it's not,
He
I mean,
makes
I
the
understand you
conversation.
think
Stop
you're,
being negative.
he probably thinks
my
he's
relative.
trolling and it's funny, but it's honestly not even funny because you just kill the entire conversation.
If you're
So
just mad, he naturally garners everyone's attention. Be happy
David,
for him.
I thought about it and I realized something. You had disproven the idea that there is no stupid question.
There's no such thing as evolution. Everything would just go from little to big. You wouldn't have things changing into different things. The thing would be the same.
Why can't we go from big to small, Dave?
You would go from little to big. Yeah, you might be going back to little.
Around?
Yeah, you
Why can't it
keep
be the other
on.
way around? What
The
if
only-
the environment stimulates a smaller size over the years? Yeah.
Do you notice that humans are still getting bigger? Have you noticed that?
That's actually not true. The average height in first world countries is starting to shrink again.
The truth is, the electrical environment present in the real time is what makes the being. So previously, we were living in a hyperbaric environment, and the beings were much larger than what they are now.
Look at the size of the Gypsy King, right?
I don't think you know what hyperbaric
You just watched the Gypsy King defeat another person, right? Look at how big
What do you think hyperbaric means?
Well, how about Neanderthals? How big were they?
Basically, back then, we have a glass layer 100 kilometers in the air. Back then, before the flood, that wasn't there. So the atmosphere was less compressed, but it was more of a oxygen-rich environment.
So
all the
that's
animals were
less
bigger.
compressed.
The humans were
Hyperbaric
bigger.
means. Hyper means high. Baric is referring to pressure.
Like or
answered
whatever the word is for increased oxygen.
How big were Neanderthals? I'll look it up right now because I'm driving.
The trees were much bigger. The animals were much bigger. Everything was bigger.
There are these Neanderthals walking around right now. They still live. These Neanderthals that you're talking about, they're all over the world.
Hey, David, what's 500 times 10?
I mean, 50,000.
Oh, so close.
By the way, hyperbaric
not
was
exactly.
correct. Hyperbaric is extra oxygen. Hyperbolic is extra pressure. Dragon Ball.
No. Hyperbolic. What the fuck, dude?
Hyperbolic means like a joke.
All right. See, could you imagine this? You've got all these little people the size of G.I. Joes living around, right? They're all over the world. They're not very big. And all of a sudden you have these science weirdos that start going into these bioweapons labs and start cooking up shit to see if they can make themselves bigger. You think that might have happened?
Damn science weirdos, and they made all this shit up like cars and technology and all this shit. God damn.
You have to yell.
You got this. You got these little people,
talk normal,
and all of a sudden there's a technology. Instead of the baby weighing like 1 ounce, all of a sudden they're having 6 ounce babies, right? Or 5 ounce babies.
Yeah, Dave.
Right?
Just because you don't understand something doesn't mean that it's weird.
But you go from a foot tall to 3 foot tall, right? So you're 3 foot tall and everybody else is 1 foot tall. It's not going to be too long when these little people aren't going to want to be around you anymore because you're going to think you can control them, right?
Yeah, Dave, I think you need to go to sleep. I'm just telling you.
It's just getting started.
Yeah, so these little people, right? They're how about if they're in hiding right now from us? We're the big people.
Yeah, listen, Dave, let me ask you this. Dave, what's 500 times 10?
$5,000. Go ahead. Send it over here.
Oh, good. All right, what's 5,000?
No, we don't need to keep asking.
Stop wasting everyone's time. These fake questions.
All right.
How much is a million?
million is a million. What sort of question is this? David, this conversation is so stupid.
It's a
This
thousand.
conversation is
It's 1,000 times 1,000's a million. Yes, we know.
Yep. Also 10 times 100,000.
Yes. Yes.
But Dave, what in the hell is the point of anything that you're saying? The entire conversation is so stupid it cannot be engaged with.
It would be. It makes more rational sense than evolution. In all rationale, things would go from little to big. There would be no. There would
God, dude. Dave, you need to get some fucking sober up. Like you are.
You could have 1 inch tall humans at one time, right?
David, I thought it was that people were getting shorter because all of the fancy buildings built before the mud flood had big doors. Which obviously means giants.
It's just like if you start existence, right? Everything is going to be small at the beginning of existence. Like a sperm turns into a human.
No, that's not. What do you mean? Everything's going to be small at the beginning of existence? No. Who the hell said that? And what? Like, no.
I'm telling you that
He's
right
not
now.
wrong. Hydrogen atoms are small, and so are the things that came before them.
But that's not. So what is he saying? That the universe was small at the beginning of its existence? I guess that's what he. So he's advocating the Big Bang Theory. I mean,
he's
what the
being
fuck
right.
is he
He's
talking
being
about?
technically right by accident. That's what he's doing.
So everything must have been small from evolution to the beginning of our universe. He's correlating everything from small to big.
This is what happens when you have somebody that has zero education and they try to make sense of the world they're in and where it came from and everything. David, I'm sorry, but you are a fucking dumbass.
I graduated high school, man. I don't know what your damn problem is.
David, I am sorry, but you're a fucking dumbass.
Because a bully, bro. I think he might be a clone.
I graduated.
Second, I'm going to do something I don't do very often and defend you. So VR, he's not wrong to say that in the beginning, when it comes to abiogenesis, when it comes to early life, when it comes to all that, it did actually start off small. Abiogenesis,
Abiogenesis did not start off small. We were on the Earth. What is that, like 7 billion years ago? It was not small. We had the whole universe. The whole universe was going, and we were some little tiny speck of dust in it. It's not small.
No, it's abiogenesis does start off small. Our current understanding with the RNA world is that RNA is that you had proteins and such linking in a way with a backbone to generate and sugars to generate RNA. RNA is a set of very small
But we
molecules.
still had the entire universe, and we're just some little speck of dust. We're some small speck of dust in this big ass universe. So it's not small. Why was it small? I don't understand that.
Right, it wasn't small, it was tiny.
And so, what do you mean? It's
when you got your first GI Joe and you were in your bedroom playing with him.
Never had a
GI Joe.
Dave, nobody gives a fuck about some GI Joe or whatever the fuck you're talking about, dude. You need to calm down.
Well, you could see where humans would be that size at one time, right? That's why they throw it in your face. Like, here, this is what size you used to be. You didn't really come from monkeys.
Can somebody explain to me what the fuck he's even talking about?
Unless you have a better topic, stop crying.
So basically, when you're small, you can't play with big toys, Dave. You can only handle small things. You're tiny.
David accidentally got something right, and now he's going to transition that into something that's really stupid. He thinks that humans aren't animals, and that they can't be classified as animals for some stupid reason. Because he doesn't use the definition of animal that anybody else uses.
Yeah, David, I got news for you. We're all animals, all right? All right, buddy? We're all fucking animals.
So there's different kinds of beings.
Did you say beans?
I agree. There
Well,
are many different kinds of beans. There are white beans, there are navy beans, there are lima beans, there are black beans. We could go on.
Atheist humor, ladies and gentlemen. They try to apply evolution to everything.
I think he was
Not-
saying there are different type of beings.
Glory.
Yeah, we
you know
got
I'm-
it, Big.
Why are you insistent on labeling such?
They try to you remember how they try to tell you that you come from like a retarded thing and then you are really just a retarded animal. You know how they teach you that when you're a kid?
No, not really.
Yeah, they teach you.
Yeah, not really.
They teach you back that you used to live
That's what
like
they
an
were
animal
teaching
and not
you
wear
personally.
like you didn't wear underwear and you just went around like a damn dog, lifting your leg, pissing on the trees and just right. That's the way that you think humans used to be.
I don't believe humans were ever dogs. No.
What was the difference?
Well,
They
for
had
one,
they had hands so they could wash shit off their face.
we're primates. As if we don't come anywhere remotely close to the lineage of dogs until like Chordata or
Right.
or
Right. So
Dairy Mountain.
so there's a jump in evolution of thought and that happened with humans where all of a sudden, see, humans would have been like monkeys in your scenario. They'd have never been smarter than monkeys, and then all of a sudden there would have been this change in evolution that would have made a jump in intelligence. Right? That's what you believe.
Not monkeys, apes.
Yeah, same thing. Go ahead. Same thing. But so it would be like, what would be the difference? Like if you were going to take a monkey, if there was a monkey right now and you wanted to, you say you could evolve him into a human, what percentage of evolution would we have to have all at one time? And how could you tell the difference between a monkey and a human? Would it be communication? Would that be the only thing different?
David, you realize that humans are still monkeys. We're old world monkeys.
Yes, I agree. I understand you believe this. I understand that you've been brainwashed and you think you're an animal, but I'm not an animal, and it's okay that you think that. That's why you are living the life you're living. So, but think about this. I'll ask the question again. If I went to the zoo and got an ape out of there, and then I got a human and I stood him right beside him and he was mentally retarded with a 70 IQ, right? Had Down syndrome. How would that monkey jump to like Down syndrome state to be human? Is that where like all humans used to have Down syndrome at one time? Is that kind of what happened?
No, that's not even remotely close. Down
Okay,
syndrome
well,
is,
tell us.
Down syndrome,
Well,
David,
just
Down
tell us how this. I understand you don't want to say Down syndrome, but we're talking about the intelligence
I'm
level
trying
of
to
a
say
Down
Down syndrome.
syndrome person.
Down syndrome has no bearing in this situation. That's a non-disjunction disorder of a sex chromosome during meiosis.
All right. What we're talking about here, though, is the difference between an ape and a human. What is the difference?
That's going to be a difference in what is it? It's going to be a difference in the pattern of expressive genes, also the order of introns, and there's also going to be a number of.
If you just give a monkey a higher IQ, right? Like if you went like some of these scientists go start pumping these monkeys up with human DNA, like they're shooting us up with bat DNA, right? So they go around and they start shooting monkeys up. Can a monkey start? Would you consider it equal to a human if it could start talking?
No, David, I wouldn't. And once again, you're talking shit. None of that is remotely accurate.
Where is the divide line? Where is the divide line between an ape and a human? What is that divide line that you think happened?
David,
This is your story, not mine. This is what you
shut the
believe,
fuck up.
not me.
God damn, will you ever shut the fuck up?
All right, tell us
Holy
about
shit,
this.
David, will you ever shut the fuck up?
No,
all right, listen, David, listen. You take a human from 200,000 years ago, he has the same intellectual capacity as any of us. You take a human from 200,000 years ago, they will have the same exact language capacity. You bring them up.
No, they have more capacity than David. Don't lie.
Well,
Yeah.
that's true. But besides
how
you,
many-
David, besides
how-
you,
how many-
listen, David. So 200,000 years ago, you take a human being, they will have the exact same intellectual capacity as a normal human being, not you. And then, like, you know, you don't understand. These things takes hundreds of thousands of years, okay? So we're not saying that some monkey birthed a human.
Are they 12 inches tall 200,000 years ago? How tall are they?
Dave's mom was the monkey that birthed him as a human.
Are they 1 foot tall? Are they the size of a GI Joe 200,000 years ago?
Guys, could we in a lab scenario stimulate perhaps some type of evolution or no? Can evolution be like sped up?
No.
What I'm asking is what is the difference in evolution of a human from an ape? What is the difference between the two in your mind? And how long ago do you think it was that you basically acted like an ape?
It's hard to tell when I'm talking to you, that's for certain.
Well, I mean, there was this time that humans used to walk around going, and they, you know, doing their feet like a dog when it's, you know, like a horse scratching the dirt and all that kind of shit. When was that?
This morning when Don was in here.
Long.
I know Jim hates it when I keep on. All right, go ahead, Jim.
It's okay, mate. Do your thing.
Can you do that noise again, Dave? The primate noise.
I'm just telling you, my theory of the little people is a lot stronger than your theory of evolution. Hands down, bar none. You have no, because it would be that you would go from little to big. Humans wouldn't go from animalistic to human, right? You're not going to go from an animal to a human. That's not going to happen. There's going to be no jump.
We're all
from there.
animals. Dave, what the fuck are you talking about? We're all animals. What do you mean animalistic to human? What the fuck are you talking about?
I am not an animal, dude. I am a human.
I got news for you, bro. You are a fucking animal.
That's what they did. They brainwashed you when you were a little kid. These clones did this to you.
No, you are just, you're dumb. David, you're dumb. I mean, I'm sorry, but you are dumb. Like, you're a fucking animal. Look around you.
I'm not an animal, dude.
Dave, look around you. You see animals all over the place. You don't have a little bit of critical thinking and think, yeah, I'm a fucking animal too.
All right, so when
like,
was
what are
the
you?
last
Are you a
time-
fucking idiot or what?
Dave might be the missing link.
So how am I still an animal?
Because
then you should be able to tell me when I jump from animal to human characteristics. There would have been a jump.
David, ask a biologist if you're a fucking animal and see what they say.
I don't give a fuck what they say. That's what they brainwashed you. I've already told you that. You need to think about it. You're not an animal. This is the reason there are all these problems in the world.
Jesus Christ, dude. Dave, you're a fucking idiot. I'm sorry, but you are a fucking idiot. Like, there's nothing really else to say. You're a fucking idiot.
You're enabling him.
You know, you're doing it not dummy and tough.
What was I see someone put the definition of animalia in the chat. Is he trying to say we're not animals? It's, you know, like by definition,
Yes.
we're
I'll say it. Yes.
yeah. It's like it's just a definition. Like by definition, we are animals. It's a series of characteristics that we absolutely have.
Nice. Now we cleared up the air with Dave. We can move on.
All right.
We are separate from animals. What he's not talking about the
I don't even
definition.
see.
You're
I don't
hot,
see why
Mikey.
it's such a big deal. It's like being an animal is not incompatible with religion, so I don't see why Dave gets so bent, gets bent out of shape out of it. It's like
If you
what
want
the
to
fuck is your
take the
problem?
Bible super literally, it does attempt to make the distinction that humankind is not animals, that they are separate in some way.
They're God's creation. Just like animals.
See, the problem you guys have is nobody knows the answer. You're both just believers when it comes all the way down to it. Even Christians that believe that God made human beings and scientists that say you came from evolution, neither one of you can prove shit. So what's your point?
Well, there's only one that's demonstrable.
There is no demonstrable because you think you came from apes. How any normal person, right? Even if you believed some type of, there would have been an increase in size of every species. You would have had two. There would have been
Our
two
ancestor was ape-like. You freaking
there
retard. We didn't come from apes.
All right. Well, I don't care, but there would have been 2-pound cows. Everything would have been little bitty tiny, man. Like a kangaroo would have been 2 inches tall, right? There would have been all of these things that would have been real little, and they just would have.
That's true. We are still hominids. Yes, we are apes.
You're not a hominid.
What do you think about
We didn't come
these
from
feet
them.
that I've just
We
posted,
are
Dallas
apes.
David? What do you think about these feet, Dallas David?
It's like monkeys, apes, and all that.
That's a nice CGI.
Have a common ancestor.
Where did you guys find this guy?
Hey everybody,
Oh.
what's going on?
He's just a local.
What are we talking about?
It's a failure of society.
Well, if you actually want to see some cool science, I'm streaming the meteor fence right now.
You know what's weird about science? We haven't discovered the first animal.
It's in the live stream that I've got here.
Is David here?
You guys have to remember that Dave came to the conclusion that because he kept getting canker sores on his tongue, that sperm had teeth. Think about
that. Hey, Joby, you know how when you were a kid, you got a G.I. Joe?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, the reason Dallas David gets canker sores because he doesn't wash his mouth or brush his teeth.
That's the size humans used to be. That's why they try to tell you something.
I could believe that. I mean, David, isn't it kind of weird that they haven't found the first animal yet?
They haven't found the first animal yet? Joby, do you understand how dumb of a fucking question that is?
Oh, I thought
everything.
Biggs, he definitely knows what that question is.
It would have been a little 1 pound, an elephant that weighed 1 pound, right? You'd have had 1 pound elephants.
Didn't live stream the first animal being born, so I'm gonna be skeptical of it. I mean, I don't know,
Hey, you guys believe that animals evolved from protozoa? So.
Yep. Yeah, and we all know Joby's a fucking troll.
Where are the fossils of the first animal? We like to record everything.
Hey, Joby, where's the fossils of a 1 pound elephant?
They got it's only 1 pound, so it wouldn't like. It's probably at the bottom of the ocean somewhere.
How about a 25 pound elephant? You know, everything would have been very small in the beginning.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Hey, Dave, can I ask you a question, brother?
It wouldn't be evolution. You would just have things that would start to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until it fit its environment. Like a fish in a fish tank, right? Gets to be a certain size because the size of its fish tank.
If y'all can't find
what he's saying. I don't understand. I can't follow. Evolution is based on we were microorganisms, and then we became what we are now. That would suggest smaller to bigger. That's the way he's looking at it.
Yeah.
Okay, but you can't. There's only so big you can get before there's only enough food to support whatever animal it is. So, I mean, I don't really know what the point is
That's
of
not
that.
true. Animals could just evolve solar energy.
Joby, shut the fuck up. You always troll, so I don't even want to hear
What are
any of
you
your
talking
bullshit.
about? Stop being mad.
Who's this guy that keeps crying?
I don't know.
I mean, if you're so miserable here, then leave.
Like a tree.
Comes in here for therapy. He's got emotional problems, and he likes for us to try to solve them for him.
I'm still trying to figure out what the first animal was.
Yeah. Well, Joby, you're probably going to be working that out for a while, but good luck on that.
Isn't it kind of weird that they haven't found it yet?
Right, Joby, you got to remember their story is that things evolve into different things, right?
Yeah.
Their story that they teach everybody is that basically, like, we used to be these hominids that come up and we started hunched down. We walked around lifting our leg up to piss on a tree and then move slowly forward all the way forward. That's not the way it would have worked.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
It would
true.
have been. It's like every bird would have been its own bird. Every dog would have been its own dog. Every fish would have been its own fish, but they'd have been little bitty.
Fish aren't animals.
Wait. But Dave, why wouldn't that have been the way that it worked?
Because you're not. Why would you evolve into anything? Why would you have to? Why would you have to evolve? Other than size, size would be your number one best factor to survive. Would be your size, right? Like the bigger things are, like elephants and all these different things. But then there gets to be
Dave. Obviously, if you have more food, then you're going to be bigger and whatever. So what's your point?
Well, you got plant-eating animals and you got meat-eating animals. There's a difference between the two also, isn't there?
You're still not
Animals
even
here in
really
Australia
making
used
sense.
to be much bigger. Like I'm talking like 12-foot kangaroos, like much bigger.
So we're a different species of kangaroo.
Still
So anyway,
kangaroos.
Dave, the bottom line
like
is
a
that
wallaby's
if you
related to a
have more
kangaroo as
food,
well.
then you can
I'm
be.
sorry,
You
can
can
this
be.
cunt not hear someone else talking?
Is
Fuckwit.
rude.
Who wants to speak?
Just we have a lot of evidence for animals being a bit bigger in the past, David, over here.
That means that they would have been littler in the past also. That's the whole freaking point. Things don't just pop into existence big.
Oh dear
How
Lord,
are you guys
David.
disagreeing
That's
with me?
cold.
I don't get it.
Because it does away with their evolution story where things change what they are. Like things change into something like they believe things change into different things. Things don't change. A blue jay, 10,000 years from now is still going to be a blue jay.
David, I think that you're the one saying this stuff, and I think it's how you word it. I think that's a lot to do with it.
No,
But then
it's their beliefs. This
It's
is the
just
belief.
plain wrong.
No, this
Dave,
is
Dave,
your
why don't you just come out and say?
Your belief is if you take the evolution of man, like you even right there where you say the evolution, where you think that there were genetic changes in the human being from
There is.
from the back when to now, there would have been no evolutional change. You just would have been smaller.
What? What the fuck, man? Where does
You'd have been the size of a G.I. Joe. Like in the very beginning, you could say.
Yeah, Dave, you sound like a fucking idiot. But either way, can you propose a different theory?
I think he just did.
You don't need to replace a falsified theory, friend.
Yeah, he thinks we were magically
I
created.
just falsified evolution. You understand that? That's a falsification of evolution.
Yeah, I guess you did.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
we hate it when people do that. Well, show me somewhere else where they.
Dave, why don't you propose a different theory then?
Where's the theory of little people at?
Show me
The fucking ribs hurt, man.
Show me.
I already told you there were smaller humans.
Yeah. We were just smaller
entire
humans, and then
species
there you
of
go.
Smaller humans.
Small
That
people
explains
get
the
born
whole
every
thing.
day.
There you go.
You have been the size of in the very beginning. You might have been 6 inches tall. Right. You'd have been like the size of just think of a GI Joe having a baby.
Hobbits are real.
Well, not that small. I'm talking like 4 feet, 45
No, Dave, we were smaller than GI Joes. We were about half an inch big.
Yeah, like if GI Joe Barbie had a baby, right?
We were tiny.
You know, there's a GI Jane, right?
If you believe in creation, then absolutely you popped into existence. Size irrelevant.
Go from small to big to small to big.
Yeah, but we're talking about the evolutionary theocracy.
And he's
talking about we live in a world right now where everybody's acting like animals. People are treating people like animals.
They're behaving like
And they're
animals.
not-
They're animals.
They're fucking like animals.
They're killing each other like animals. Worse than animals, actually.
Right, the reason they're doing it, yeah, of course, because if maybe if you clone somebody, that's no longer considered human. Maybe it's an animal at that point.
Oh shit! Are clones animals, David?
What if you clone a fish? Would that be an animal?
A clone might be an animal. This might be the problem that we're
I don't
having.
think David can compute that. That's like too much for his mind. If a clone is an animal, that's like too much for him. I don't know if he can handle that. But
Normal humans don't act like what's going on in the world right now. They don't act like authoritarian people that
No,
are
you're
go.
right. Animals are way more civil than the way we're acting.
I would agree.
You're completely right. Like, we're worse right now.
You don't see rabbits forcing other rabbits to take a vaccine, now, do you?
There's a lot of people that won't harm other people, so don't say we.
What are you, miss? You're a human.
You don't know that.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I might not know that.
I'm a Russian bot.
But if there was no evolution, right? Just say, because this is all that you got to remember. This new world order. That's what they're wanting to do. Is they're wanting to evolve the human race. That's why they're wanting to inject your.
Are they gonna make us bigger or smaller?
Is that what we're trying to do, David? Evolve the human race?
That's why they're injecting you with foreign DNA,
Speed
right?
evolution?
RNA comes from DNA.
Oh no!
Soon we're gonna have wings growing out of our back. We're gonna be able to fly.
Oh,
we're getting evolutionized to be able to fly.
Not the foreign RNA, dear God.
They're going to use our blood to make concrete.
Well, the problem is when you change, even if you have this ability as a human to change and do things with genetics, it has nothing to do with the reality of the situation. Those things are still they're not the original copies. If that
Dave,
makes sense.
I have an idea. Maybe they're trying to make us bigger with these RNA technologies so that they can harvest our energy. So the bigger we are, the more energy we have, right? So then they can harvest more energy off the humans.
Like the
So then what do you think?
We're going to become batteries.
They want to kill all the humans and have the Earth only populated by clones. That's the ultimate goal.
What happens if you clone a clone? Does it become a human?
Well, basically,
it becomes a werewolf.
Clones can have babies, so they'll just repopulate the Earth with no human beings, but with clones only. That's the ultimate goal. That's what's going on right now. That's what all these people in government right now, like Justin Castro, all these characters that you see. That's what they're doing right now is a depopulation of the human to replace them with clones. That's the war right now. You need to figure out what the war is, why we're having a war, why everybody's fighting, why white people are killing white people. They're killing white people because they got to get rid of the strong white people because they don't want them to turn on them. Because think if the neo-Nazis turn on the government, what's going to happen then?
Hitler.
Right? Right.
What
So
Neo
you
Nazi?
got the Russians killing off people. So they're killing all their strong. They're killing all their strong. Killing
I
all
think
the
I've
strong,
ever.
and they've injected the rest. So there you are. The human race, the human race is headed for oblivion and to be replaced by clones.
I mean, they've been doing this reset over and over again. So how do you know that we're not already clones?
We're not
You
clones.
have your inner conscience within you. You're not a clone.
Because we believe in God.
If you have an inner voice
Well,
that
can't
speaks
be
to you,
conscious.
that tells you good from right from wrong, and it tends to be right, you're not a clone.
Clones are usually atheists. That's
I mean,
why.
you're making these claims about clones, but you have no evidence, right? So how do you know we're not clones?
It's his
Well,
opinion.
you don't know. You don't know if you're a clone.
Let's
You
down
don't
on
know
the
if you're a
first
clone
question. I can't help you. Sorry.
unless you take you take a written test. It's called the clone test, and we can basically ask you 100 questions and find out if you're a clone or not.
Okay. I'll give you 5 questions. Go.
Well, this is in our test center right now. We're working on putting this questionnaire for all government employees, and we're gonna have to do a little, Thank
Government employees, I may be screwed. Who's gonna enforce people to take this? You?
No, the generals have ordered this.
What generals? Generals of what? The People's Court?
The general of the little people.
Do you think they would, like, when all the clones wipe out all the humans, do you think they'd put us in zoos, like human zoos?
No, what they'll do is they'll just keep a few humans, like some third world country. They'll just let them live, and then they'll just go. Anytime they start dying off or getting sick, and too many of them got bad eggs, they'll come and harvest them off these humans that they got on these little plantations and got them all tagged and injected. They've done it before. They've done it before. They're doing it again. But this time they really want to do it real bad all the way because they really hate humans.
David, I need to see these 6 inch tall people. I need to show some evidence of these people. I've seen the 2 foot tall.
We're hoping the little people are watching over us, and hopefully they show up before any shit gets started too much.
I mean, it's kind of too late for that, isn't it?
What do you think's going to happen if you have 1 million 1 foot tall little people come flying over the North Pole into the United States? What do you think's going to happen?
Yeah, well, I mean, where were they through all the other genocides that's happened?
Well, there hasn't been nuclear war.
They hit underground.
I don't think that has anything to do with anything. You just brought that in out of the blue. We're not talking about nuclear. Talking about genocide.
Well, that's one you had. I'm not sure yet. I don't know the answers to this.
What makes you think that they're saviors? What if they're actually the ones in control?
That's what I said. I just hope that our lost ancestors are out there watching over us.
Maybe they are the New World Order.
Yeah, they might be.
You're hijacking the whole conversation. Can you just shut up for a bit, or no?
Hey, what fucking talk about?
I mean, all you do is come in here and bitch.
It's because he doesn't like it that his ancestors were little people.
Is that a problem?
He likes being an animal, and he likes the fact that he evolved from a monkey type species way back when his head was sloped. Remember, his ancestors' skull used to be different than this. It used to be sloped way back, and he had like a real wide nose. His great 1,000-time granddaddy.
David, yeah, pretty much. But why don't you just shut the fuck up for like 5 minutes and let other people talk?
Wait, hold on a second, guys. Order.
When was the first time?
Do you think that your mom was a monkey?
When did your ancestors start wearing underwear? That's what I want to know. If you could tell me how many years ago your first grandfather put underwear on, just like the first time we got cars, right? There would have been the first time your granddaddy put underwear on.
You
when?
You ever put underwear in your head?
David, I guess I'm not a clone. I don't wear underwear.
I put it in my head.
See, that's what's so crazy. Like all species have an inherent skill about them to survive. Like an animal can be born in the wild and live, right? They rummage, they do whatever it takes to eat, and all the rest of it, right? And a human doesn't have that ability, for one, right?
David, first of all, you don't know shit about what it takes to survive. If you didn't have money, you would be dead within 3 weeks.
Well, that's not
true.
There's very few animals that they can't survive on their own after birth, other than humans. Also,
that's
David. What would you do if you didn't have any money? What would you do? Are you gonna? What? Do you have a gun? You gonna go hunt?
There's shelter, or there's plenty of help.
You might be projecting. I think that you couldn't survive without money, and so you're projecting on the David. How much hunting do you?
I know for sure David couldn't because he's a fucking dumbass.
Well, we're gonna apply the same to you, right? I mean, do you hunt? Do you go fishing?
Sure. Maybe I do. But bottom line, David is a fucking idiot, and David.
You just come in to kick him.
David's a natural born farmer. I'm sure he could farm if he wanted to, and raise animals and all that, and survive.
Does that mean he can tow a tank with a tractor?
Yes, that too. He could do it all.
Such a hard on for David.
I hate him because they know he knows the
truth. Because he's an idiot.
I really
come on.
I'm
and a troll.
Dumbass. Sorry,
it's like going to a psychiatrist and he's on the couch and I'm telling him he's not an animal. He didn't revolve from monkeys and he's been lied to his entire life and he needs to accept it. Okay. It's not a bad thing that you weren't a monkey, man.
Revolve from monkeys?
Angelo, when was the first time a monkey played chess?
When was the first?
I mean, I'm sorry. I really am sorry. You are a dumbass, though.
Hey, Joey,
I mean, I'm sorry, but you are.
Joey, I've never. Hold on, guys.
How many years ago did humans start wearing underwear?
Dave,
how long ago was
and putting it on their heads.
Joby fed me a fat fastball. Joby, you just said, when was the last time a monkey played chess? That was the last time I played you at chess.
No, I said, when was the first time a monkey played chess?
Right, and you set yourself up. It was when I played you chess.
Oh my god!
You played a couple monkeys. Not Joey's not the only monkey.
I beat several monkeys in this server.
Hey VR dude, why don't you go to the live stream and go back and listen to the things that only you have said and see how bright you think you sound?
I'm just saying, David is literally the poster boy for what makes all Americans look like dumbasses. I'm just saying, David.
You just heard my point.
I'm not sure that would really
we just don't work for our government.
Because then all he would hear is the things that he thought were cool to say again.
Yeah, VR, you realize David's a troll, right?
How many years ago was the first time that humans started wearing underwear?
And putting it on their head.
When was the first monkey that had sex?
Actually, humans wore a lot of clothes underneath. Sorry, miss. Go ahead. I just heard you in the background. Okay, anyway, David, humans wore underwear way back into the Roman times. They actually wore underwear, especially when they had crowded gatherings, because their body odor was so bad that they had to cover themselves with clothes and underclothes and underclothes.
That wouldn't work.
If you buy that, I got some land that I can sell you.
Oh, you don't think that's true?
That wouldn't work.
You don't think any of that's true there, eh, miss?
It would just go through the clothes.
No, it doesn't.
So do you think insects evolved? Do you think an insect evolved? Do you think insects evolved into other insects?
If
Oh,
you stink,
absolutely.
just put on clothes to hide the
Well,
smell.
you do. You don't
No,
think
this
every
is
insect
okay.
stands
Yes,
on
you
its
missed the
own,
point.
right? See, here's another problem with their story. Angelo's going to explain to you another problem with their evolution. Here, just listen for a minute. We're going to have Angelo. Angelo, tell us how insects have evolved. Angelo, go ahead, please.
How far back do you want to go?
Just go back to the beginning. Go back to the
400
beginning of
million
time.
years ago?
Oh, that'll be good. Start there.
Yeah, 400 million years ago in the Cambrian era, the first insects actually evolved from the first arthropods that came out of the ocean. Arthropods, you know what those are, right?
No, tell us about it.
Those
Tell
are
us about it.
insects. Those are already insects.
They weren't. No,
Don't ask
Joby.
us. Just tell us. Just tell us the story. Just tell us the story.
I'm not. This is not what the server's about. I mean, I could give you that. I can also tell you where to look it up. But I'm not going to give you a science lesson right now, especially when I know you're not going to understand half of what I'm going to be telling you anyway.
Hold on. You went before the arthropods. Wasn't there bacteria? Or even
Okay, we
way
haven't even
before
gotten
that?
that far back. We're only
Yeah,
400
we gotta
million
go a
years
little bit back.
back.
We gotta start from
We
the
got a
beginning.
long ways to go.
Yeah, we gotta, go a little bit back further.
Don't forget, that's the beauty of evolution. Evolution takes David. If you want me to answer your question, you gotta let me answer. Okay, so evolution. The biggest and most wonderful thing about evolution is that it takes time, and if you have the patience to stick around, you can see evolution happen right before your eyes. Problem is, human beings, and especially Dallas Dave and Christians, don't have the patience. They want to do everything in 6,000 years or less. It's time to go ahead and slow things down. Take your time.
Perhaps we can speed
and
it
look
up.
backwards.
Right. Well, just tell us the story of how and where and how we got this million. I mean, there's a million,
you fucking idiot!
there's a million.
Dead.
There's a million insects in the world right now. If you went and counted every insect that's ever been categorized, there's probably a million insects in the world.
David, shut the fuck up.
David,
You're just a
David,
troll.
David,
You're
David,
just a fucking
there's
troll.
an estimated 10 million species of insects is the estimate. Right now, we've cataloged and counted somewhere around 1.5 million.
Okay, there we go. So we're going to go back 400 million years ago, and we're going to a million plus different species.
No,
so
you're
tell us,
not. You're going to see fewer species back then.
What?
I have never heard you do that.
What?
Hey, David, start your engine.
Hold
Go
on.
on the coast a little bit.
Hold
Hold
the
it
fuck
up a
on.
little bit, and your engine will start up.
Hold the fuck on a minute. You said we've got 1 million different insects categories, right? 1,500,000 right now, as you said?
Yeah, about 1.5 million species.
Okay, so we've got 1.5 million different insects, right?
That
So
are modern day, yes, correct.
Go back in time to insect number 1.
That's a long ways back, and I'm not sure exactly where the first insect would have come from.
Go back to insect number 100,000.
Okay, insect species number 100,000. And again, that's none of the insects that are alive today. All of the extant species that are alive
so they're
today.
all dead. They're all dead now, folks. They're all dead. We're all evolved. We're all evolved from dead people, right? We're all dead.
Have fun.
From dead insects.
You're gonna talk all over me, so have fun. No patience,
your
Dave.
story's already
Thank you.
fucked up. Why do you tell these fucked up stories?
Hold on, let him respond though, Dave. He was gonna.
I know it, but
no, Dave. If you don't know it. If you keep talking over me and keep ridiculing my answers without even letting me finish the answer, so you can hear the actual answer, then there's no point in me talking. So that's why I'm giving you one of these. Check it out in the chat. Bye, Dave.
Is that an ant? Oh.
There's really no point in any of us talking, I guess. We just do it.
He knows his story's fucked up.
Yeah,
right, Dave. That's why I make a living on insects and you don't.
No. Could you? All right, let's say an insect. You know how the size of say something smaller than a flea, right? What would you say smaller than a flea?
There's a lot of insects smaller than this flea.
That
Would you like
can
a
see
parasitic
pretty
wasp
cool.
that
I mean,
actually
that-
parasitizes fleas? How's that? There's one.
No, I mean, what's smaller than a flea?
10 times a parasitic wasp. 10 times smaller than a flea.
All right, so every
An
insect. How about if
ichneumonid
every insect, all million insects, was that size to begin with?
All million insects. You mean all million species? 1.5 million species? You realize that's diversity. You're taking away all the diversity now. You're going to make them all the same insect. You can't do that. Evolution doesn't work like that.
They're all the same insect. Always have been. Always will be. How about that?
Okay, and then you're going to shrink them down to the size of 10 times smaller than a flea.
Right.
So that means giant Luna moths and silk moths and all of that are going to be that size. They won't be able to mate because all of a sudden the wind's going to blow and they won't even be able to find their mates and let alone reproduce. And they die out. So you've just wiped out a half a dozen species right there.
If their sky to them is only an inch high, right? And they're in the grass and they're down in the
they rely on you. But the problem is they rely on oak trees for their food. So how are they going to fly up to the oak tree? How are they going to get all the way up there?
All the oak trees are going to be little bitty too.
Oh, so you shrink the whole earth down. Why not we just leave it alone and just don't fuck with it?
Well, no. I mean, everything, the earth would have been its same size, but things would have been smaller. It's just like when you cut trees down and then they're in that field when you replant.
Are we going to be the same size?
All the trees are little.
Are we going to be the same size?
No, we're going to be little bitty.
Oh, great. So airplanes too?
Dude, David, you're a complete dumbass. I mean, I'm
if you
sorry.
scale everything
but you
down,
are.
airplanes are not an organism.
It doesn't matter. They're made by human beings, and if we're gonna shrink all the human beings down, we're not
Yeah,
gonna be
but
able to.
humans
We won't even be able to
didn't
get into
make
our own
airplanes
cars.
until they were big size.
Shrinking everything everything that is on Earth that is alive today, and we shrink it all down.
Right.
To little
Good
bitty.
luck getting in your car to go to work or driving your truck to work there tomorrow, Dave. Now you starve to death.
Whoa. It's not funny anymore. If you're it's not fucking funny anymore.
You're roboting.
You're roboting.
It's the most intelligent thing he said. Just let him robot.
I like that. That was a good one, Miss. All right, Dave. So you killed off the human race by shrinking us down. You've killed off all the moths and all the larger insects by shrinking them down. Any arboreal insects, you shrunk them down. They don't live.
You're gonna be. No, they would just get bigger, just like when you're a sperm, right? You're a little sperm when you're first born, right?
I wasn't a sperm when I was first born. I was fully formed. If I came out as a sperm, I think we got a serious problem here.
Well, I mean, everything starts out, everything is from sperm, just about.
No, everything comes from sperm and egg. You got to unite the two, otherwise you won't get your zygote.
Exactly. So the size of an ant sperm. I mean, this is macro.
You're one correct. An ant sperm and a human sperm are almost the same size.
I mean, it would be hard to see an ant ejaculate, wouldn't it?
No, it's not. It's very easy.
So you squeeze it. What do you do?
I've seen it lots of times.
Oh, you have?
Sure. You find a queen and a male ant that are in a nuptial flight. Pull the male ant off and take a look at him. He's squirting all over the place.
Oh. Well, how big is his sperm, though? You see his little sperm.
It's about the same size as a human sperm, a little bit smaller.
This proves my theory that there is no such thing as evolution. This proves it right here, what I'm telling you.
Why? Because of the size of his sperm?
The size of the sperm, exactly.
Doesn't need to be that big.
You believe in these goddamn giant fucking dinosaurs and all this fucking shit. Where the fuck do you think they came from? They just popped into existence giant size, huh?
No, they came from sperm. Sperm and egg.
Oh, yeah, sperm and egg. And then the sperm doesn't just come out.